two cigars. I've got two cigars at the same time, trying them both, noticing the differences. Who is gonna come out on top? Is it gonna be the Aganorsa Rare Leaf Criollo 98 or the Joya De Nicaragua Antaño Criollo 98? Let's put them together. Let's see which one comes out as our winner. If you're interested in either the Aganorsa Rare Leaf or the Joya De Nicaragua Antaño 1970 or many other cigars that both these companies produce, check us out, you know where to find us. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so that you are alerted every time we produce new content. Today is a very special day. I have two different cigars. I'm gonna light up both and see the dynamic differences between them. One is from Aganorsa Leaf. This is one of the biggest tobacco suppliers in the world. They create amazing cigars not only for themselves, but they also sell tobacco to bigger companies like Drew Estate, Illusione, HVC, Warped, and the list goes on. They're known for the Corojo 99 tobacco and their Criollo 98, and I've talked a lot about it. I absolutely love their cigars, so I thought it was appropriate to bring it up. This is the Rare Leaf. It has a Criollo 98 wrapper, grown by Aganorsa. On the other side, we have the Joya De Nicaragua Antaño, the 1970 Antaño, the oldest cigar factory in Nicaragua, the OG original. This also has a Criollo 98 wrapper, and this is grown by them. So I'm very interested to see the difference between the two. They supply a lot of tobacco to a lot of people, not just their brand, such like Dapper Cigar Company, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, and the list goes on. So I'm very excited to see either one perform. I want to jump into it. Okay, here we go. I'm excited for this. What happens when you take the most popular and rich in heritage factories of Nicaragua and you pit them against each other, and how do they perform? That's exactly what this is gonna be right here. Go ahead and get a cut here. I'm gonna get a cut on the other one. This is the Joya De Nicaragua Antaño, which is the 6x50 Antaño. A little snug of a draw. Ooh, very sweet, like coffee nutty flavor on their Joya. Coffee nutty for days, wow. It's a little bit of tighter draw, but it's not like horrible. And this is the Aganorsa Leaf Rare Leaf Robusto. This is a 5 1/4 by 52. A lot more open. Chocolate. Wow, like dark chocolate. I don't know if I've ever had that on like a cold draw before. All right, well, let's light them up. I'm gonna light up the Aganorsa Leaf Rare Leaf Robusto first and kind of see first impressions. And to be completely fair, like due to my love for Aganorsa tobacco, I've probably smoked this cigar a lot more than the Antaño. So I wanted to see how these Criollo 98 Nicaraguan Puros perform against each other. So I say the cold draw on this cigar brought a lot of like cocoa sweetness, but like dark cocoa sweetness, like dark chocolate. So let's see here. And it was a better draw in the beginning. A lot of sweetness, spice on the retrohale. Honestly, not getting those like dark notes that I did on the cold draw, but overall very medium. I really like the retro, and that's something I've always enjoyed about Aganorsa Leaf, was the like retrohale that comes with it. But very cedary, a little bit of nuttiness, earthy forward, and sharper tones. It's on the brighter side of cigars. But overall smooth. I'm gonna say medium strength level right now. But that's the beginning impressions of Rare Leaf. It's got that Aganorsa signature like spice pepper going on with a little bit of citrusy notes, cedary notes. Now let's move on to the Antaño. The Antaño is a Criollo 98. As I say, they're the oldest cigar factory in Nicaragua. They supply to other factories as well. And Joya probably has a bigger name when it comes to distribution. They're distributed by Drew Estate Cigars. They're kind of like more well-known. They were known more for like the original like Nicaraguan alternative instead of Cuban cigars. Interesting. There's a little bit of a kick of pepper on the retrohale, but these are deeper notes. Almost like a berry flavor, a nutty flavor. Definitely deeper in tones. Like it's not as like high. There's like I said, there's that pepper spice a little bit, but nothing like too overbearing or crazy. Very, very different cigar. More earthy tones, more cocoa forward, but there's a lot more sweetness going on in this cigar than the other one. And I kind of feel like It gives the perception of being heavier than it actually is. I wouldn't say it's like crazy heavy or anything, but it definitely has like deeper notes to it. That retro is smoothing out a bit more as well. This is something that I actually like to do, and I encourage you to try as well. If you've got two cigars that you want to see like the two differences of, or maybe even an aged version and not, you kind of go back and forth between them, see where it lands you. If you want more baking spice, if you want more cedary notes, a little more pepper on the retro, and also like a combination of, you have these like sharper tones that are more like smooth and medium and mild, where I would say this is more in the medium strength range. Like Rare Leaf has got it. Dry is like perfect. That's that characteristic that I really like about Aganorsa. Now on the other side, if you want something more like berry sweet, a little bit of like cocoa-iness as well, earth, a touch more balance, I would say, is found in the Nicaragua. Now you have to forgive me, I had to set this down, and then unfortunately when I picked it up, I lost the ash. So it was on there, but unfortunately it got knocked off by the ashtray. More coffee and heavier notes. And this is interesting because 9 times out of 10, when you have an Aganorsa cigar, it is comprised mostly of Corojo 99 and Criollo 98. There's some things like Corojo 2012, such like that, but it's that Nicaraguan signature flavor. This is one of the few that has a Criollo 98 wrapper on it. And so I thought it was wise to like see what it does against a Criollo 98 Joya. The Rare Leaf is interesting because it is only offered to select accounts, meaning you have to work with Aganorsa for a certain amount of business to then have access to the cigar. So it's a little bit more limited, but not limited. It's just not as easy in production to find. And so this is a Parejo. It's not a box press. It's more Robusto. I'm gonna say medium, edging to medium plus. It has a bit more of a kick as it continues. Sharper notes, but now transitioning into more coffee. Now, unlike the Aganorsa, the Joya De Nicaragua Antaño 1970 is a box press, and it's one of like their staple, their core line staples to the brand. And it's one of the most popular cigars, even in the industry. A lot of people know of this. A lot of people have seen this before. While it has a little bit of a tighter draw, it's also a cooler smoking experience. It doesn't feel as hot. It has more sweeter notes to it, more earthy notes to it, a lot deeper. Now I would not classify this as a Maduro. It's darker, but it's not a full Maduro. It's got a darker, like natural wrapper to it. And really beautiful, very oily, very sleek, and I think it matches up pretty well. What can you expect in these two cigars? Both of which offer a really unique experience and very different between the two. When it comes to the Joya, you have more of those deeper notes to it, more sweetness, overall sweetness. Like I said, a little bit of berry sweetness. I don't know what kind of berry, but it's like faint on there, as well as earth and chocolate and such like that. I'm gonna say it's a little more tame, especially if you retrohale the cigar. It's a bit more smooth, but it's got a gravity punch to it at the base level. When it comes to the Aganorsa leaf, it's a bit sharper, it's a bit more punchy, it's more medium plus, and you have sharper notes like cedar and earth, citrus a little bit, but now it's moving back to like a creamy like coffeeness to it as well. Medium plus in strength. I would say it's a touch stronger, but not by much. It's interesting to have these two cigars together because both factories have such a rich heritage behind them, but perform vastly different. And that's part of what I really enjoy. One's not to say one's better than the other, but just a very different experience. Which one do you prefer? Drop down in the comments, out of the two companies that you have tried, Joya De Nicaragua or Aganorsa Leaf, which have you tried and preferred more? Or do they come at a dead tie? What are your thoughts? I think for me, they have both so much to offer, and it really depends what mood I'm up for. As usual, thank you for watching. My name is Eric. Next time, we will pair a few other cigars against each other and see what those differences are. Thanks for watching. You've been with us for Oakland Tobacconist.